You guys are doing great. You guys are my favorite D&D podcast on the air, hands down.
And we didn't even bribe him to say all those nice things.
Oh gosh. All right, ladies and gentlemen, comrades and friends, welcome back to another episode of the Dicey D20, a very special one because it is our mid-season episode. Woo woo.
Beyond the Dice, as we're calling it right now.
Name's tentative, but Beyond the Dice works for now. I'm just kidding.
Beyond the D20. Behind the D20?
Inside
D20. Sab.
Oh god, no.
Yeah. Anyways, names aside, this is just a cool chance for us to sit down, chat about the pod, chat about things that we find cool, things we're excited for in the future, and maybe get your comments online, either on Twitter. You can also check out our website at the Dicey D20, check out the World of Norian there, and yeah, get everyone's thoughts on stuff like that.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah, me better too. Check it out, folks.
Fievel threat.
Fievel might get enraged.
Don't threaten them. Yeah, I think we wanted to start off with the Dicey D20, how it all started. Now that how many downloads are we in now? We're in 8.
Getting close to 9.
Too many.
Almost 900.
Yeah, we're drowning in the downloads.
You guys need to stop.
Can that be the name of this? Is just drowning in the downloads? Yeah, now that we're quote unquote drowning in downloads, we thought it was time to share our origin story and how it all came to be. Believe it or not, none of these goons played D&D before I did. I was the first.
Yeah,
and I brought D&D to the group, and then I think it was a year or two later, we had done 2 or 3 seasons worth, 2 or 3 campaigns. Yeah. When I think it was a sunny afternoon. We of course were indoors, probably just after a session of D&D, and we thought about how funny it would be if we could just hear all the crazy shit that had happened over the past 2 years.
That Sab says. I always want to hear what that guy says afterwards.
Well, because so much dope shit happens, and even just crazy moments where like people roll 20s at the craziest time, and or people roll 1s at the most crucial time, right? Yeah. And so then you end up being like, oh man, if only there was a way to listen to it. And I think originally we just were thinking about doing it for ourselves.
Yeah, definitely.
Like I just thought about recording it for us, and then I don't know who it was. Maybe it was Sam Wood. I don't know. I'll shout out Sam Wood. Suck Wood? Yeah, it was Suck Wood who said, dude, it'd be dope to listen to that. Because I think he listened to like one of our sessions one day.
Yeah, he just sat there and stared at us for an hour. It was really weird.
Yeah, Sam, you can play. No.
Every orgy needs a witness.
Pants down in the corner. It was in a closet. Pretty sure it was in a closet.
Sam is going to love and hate this shit out.
Yeah, it's fine. Yeah, so that's kind of how D&D... Well, at least the pod started. D&D for me was kind of an interesting... The DM that I first played with had no experience in D&D whatsoever. Not a bad thing. He was fantastic for what he knew. And gosh, I think even I was so against playing, I didn't even want to play. It was Max, fellow DM. Once we were first-time players together, he was so psyched. He was like, man, we gotta play D&D. This is gonna be dope. I've done so much research. He's like, I got all these characters. He pre-made like 15 characters for everyone who was on this field school with us.
That takes a while to do.
No, it took a long time, and they were fucking weird characters too. Like my guy was an urban druid dragonborn. He was a hipster druid who hated earth magic. It was super weird. So, anyone who knows druids knows that that's their only bit, and he just took that from me. And my fatal flaw was I would run away from any fight I was outnumbered in. So I was up against like 2 goats on a mountain, and I ran away. And I didn't want to play, and we all had a couple beers, and we were hanging out one of the days after work. He just said, come on man, just give it an hour. And honestly, it was revolutionary. It was wild. I was so used to RPGs that this was like the ultimate RPG, and I just had to go with it. But then when I got home, none of these guys played D&D.
That's true. So were you in Greece then, or was that?
No. Greece was after. That was 2 years later. Yeah.
We're in Greece now, eh?
No, we're not in Greece.
I meant we have downloads in Greece.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, we're all in Greece, guys.
Jesus.
I don't know. I don't know what to say.
4 Canadians in Greece.
I didn't know we had downloads in Greece.
Yeah, I just found out.
I mean, that's wild. Where else do we have downloads that I don't know about, Josh?
Oh boy, I haven't looked recently, but we are in Vietnam.
We're in Vietnam?
Yep.
Good morning, Vietnam.
God, I'm sure they hate that joke.
They probably do, but it's fine. They're not here.
We're decently big in Australia.
Really?
Yeah. Quite a few downloads there.
I won't try and do an Aussie accent.
No, that's fair.
I just want to piss off all of our listeners.
We're in the US, obviously. UK, pretty big actually.
Okay, sick.
Yeah.
Never been to the UK. Any listeners want to put me up rent-free for a couple weeks, you shout me out. I'll run all the free D&D you can imagine.
Oh boy. He's already trying to jump ship.
Yeah, the catch is he's going to bring all the rest of us, and so really we'll settle for 2 bedrooms.
2 bedrooms. I'm just trying to reap the benefits of this fame while I can, Josh. Oh my gosh.
And Sab eats a lot, so...
Yeah, so there's going to have to be a lot of food.
Yeah.
Sab mucks.
Candle that burns twice as bright burns twice as fast. If we're going to reap the benefits, Josh, we got to do it now.
Sorry, my bad. At our peak.
Yeah, before our steady decline. But this is a good point, I think, to talk about characters, because I think that the characters are some of the things that draw people into the storyline. At least they've made working with the storyline really cool for me, because as every DM kind of knows, anyone who's played D&D, you have to kind of center the world around your players to a certain extent, right? Obviously the world's bigger than they are, a lot of shit's happening, but at the same time, you got to keep them in mind, and I think keeping you guys in mind was what's made the storyline pretty cool.
Yeah, and I mean, you've DM'd us countless times, so I think you've kind of gotten the feel of what we like to do, and, how to cater games to that, and story.
I think I've DM'd you almost exclusively. Almost.
I've had one other DM. I don't know if
he was better than you.
You've had Justin
Oh my
DM.
god, fuck you. No, hold up.
Josh told me one
the mics
time
down. We're gonna
they had
scrap
to
right
redo
now.
a quest because they didn't do it right. And have we ever got that opportunity? Fuck, I'd kill Vox in a heartbeat. Let's redo it. Come on.
No, you're right. Let's just do over every single thing in D&D we don't like. No, we can't do that.
No, like a load save game. And
Yeah.
just keep going back. That'd be a weird
It's
pod.
fucking ridiculous.
Pause like in Skyrim and just boost my health back up by eating like 80 hams. That's the dream.
I don't know. Yeah, well, we were thinking about having a pod, or well, not maybe a separate pod, but maybe a feature on this pod about DMing, what goes into it, some do's and don'ts and stuff like that, because as much as there's a bunch of literature on it, there's actually very little in terms of, like, you'll see those posts, like 10 things for like novice DMs to learn if you want to be good at D&D, and it's like, yeah, there's so much more than that. Mm-hmm. But I don't know, if that's something you guys are interested in, definitely let us know. Tweet at us, twit at us, I don't know, however you say that.
Twitter,
like
Twitter at us. Noah's an
Tweeter at us.
80-year-old man. He doesn't understand technology.
Let's talk about characters.
Yeah.
Hey, Bright Lord.
I don't know. I think my character's badass. At first, I didn't really like him because he can cast spells, which is kind of shitty.
Yeah. What a piece of shit.
Yeah. Fucking non-spellcaster.
But I've always stuck to like heavy armor kind of guys throughout D&D. I haven't been really used to like spell casting and stuff, which is cool because I'm getting into that right now since I leveled up. But yeah, I enjoy my character a lot right now.
What's your favorite thing about your character? Actually, I'll tell you my favorite thing about your character. It's probably your backstory.
When he shit
Yeah.
himself. No.
I love the Bright Lord backstory. It's hilarious. I go back and listen to that episode a lot.
Yeah. Me and Josh were talking about if you brought back Jamarcus, like he didn't actually die, and he was like he was the evil, like our nemesis, and he was really just there picking on Sab.
And he's like Two-Face from Batman. Like,
Fuck.
Okay, to be honest, that was always in the cards. Maybe not as like the arch nemesis, right? Not as like the climax of season 1 of the story. But it was definitely in the cards for like a low key bandit hideout near the town that Sab was from. They ended up pulling him from the wreckage. He rises up to the top ranks of this bandit clan, and then he's like, Ragnar, good to see you. Rogar Ragnak.
Yeah.
Let's get the fucking name on.
you know what? Call
Rogar,
him
good to see you. He's like, who are you? And he removes the mask. Joth Marcus, and then like fade to black. Just like the end of the episode.
No! You were my friend.
You were dead. I stomped your face in.
No, that backstory's pretty fun. I don't know. Everyone knows this, but tragic backstories in D&D. Can no one fucking be happy, please?
Yeah, we all went tragic. Like, as tragic as you could go.
I survived. So did Trevis. I think that's pretty...
Travis is technically dead. Isn't he not?
He's a ghost bird.
Yeah, but he's
So technically he didn't survive.
he's my ectoplasm. He feels real.
Yeah, I mean,
Oh my
it's kind of cool.
gosh.
It's definitely cool.
It's cool, but like, God, would it kill you to write like my family's fine, they live down the road, I go visit them on weekends, like, fuck.
They send me messages every few months. God, Mom,
No,
get off my back.
everyone wants to be sad.
I don't know. It gets that immediate emotional connection, I
Yeah,
guess.
I think the listeners relate. You know what? No one's happy in this situation.
It's turned into the Dr. Phil podcast real quick.
I love that we got one listener. I'm happy. No, you're not. You're fucking not.
You shut your mouth.
Yeah, there's not much to. I mean, yeah. So I think Fievel's background is also pretty. I think Josh's background is the most ironic. You're a freed slave,
Yes.
but you're not actually free.
I am now.
Well, you are now, but
Yeah,
we're halfway through season 1, so it took you a while.
yeah, I did. I mean, yeah, it was kind of ironic because I was freed, then not freed. So like,
I
back
think the
and forth.
players appreciate that kind of, you know. I just want them to know that I gave him every opportunity to fucking break free from that shit, and he just fucked it up every time. So
I just played my character. I thought he wouldn't go along with any of this. He would be as difficult as possible.
I mean,
Yeah.
when you planeswalked, you saw that imp, you could have fucked an imp and started a whole like new civilization there
Jesus.
and never come back. Technically, that would have been an escape, right?
do you think that he can have sex with the fire imp that he saw?
That is what he said.
Fire dimension? All right, we were going to eventually get to, things that could be alternative outcomes in D&D, things we could have done differently.
We're
That
jumping.
clearly goes to the top of the list. Josh could have started a fucking half humanoid, half imp colony
God, I would have
in the
been.
middle of the fire
That'd been
dimension,
cool.
brought them back to Earth, taken over the material
Shit.
plane. No, Josh could not have fucked an imp.
Yeah.
Nor could he have, I mean, you know what? Fuck that.
Prove
He
him
probably could
wrong.
have fucked the imp. He couldn't have conceived a child with it, though.
And it probably wouldn't have been consensual.
Get over
No,
here.
that imp would have fucking gotten... I don't even know.
On your
I
part
don't
or
even
the
know
imp's
what
part? That's the real question.
Technically, it's a mephite. MEPHIT. Mephite? Yeah. Technically, that's what they're called. I don't know if you call them an imp, but they look
Okay.
impish.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't think we ever found out what they actually were.
Yeah, for people who are interested, I mean, they're in the monster manual. I think there's an exact line which says cannot conceive human children, but I don't know.
Oh,
Fuck.
Must have missed that. It was my turn, right? Talk about my character.
Yeah, you can
Yeah.
talk about
Yeah,
your-
you can talk about your
All right.
character.
Well, there's obviously a lot of decisions to make when I was first starting my character. Mousefolk was kind of like in the back, like one of the low choices, because I was like, "Fuck, who the hell wants to be a stupid mouse?" Like, just to get pushed around and people like shit in my face. Like, great, that's all I want in the D&D world. I was just be in real life. Let's just make it happen in the virtual life.
Oh god, this got too fucking real.
No, so
You want to talk about something, Justin?
I numbered them off, rolled the dice, landed on Mousefolk, and you know what? The dice don't lie, so I followed through with it. And then along with the Beastmaster, I was going for a little bit of irony. I was like, how sick would it be if I was just some little fucking mouse that just dominates these giant beasts? Like, that would be fucking awesome.
Yeah, you said my character's most ironic. I definitely think Fievel is the most ironic character out of us. He is technically half part animal, but he's also a beastmaster. So he just trains other animals. And on top of that, he's like this small, cute little mouse folk who is just triggered instantly and kills
I'm
everyone.
fucking Ash Ketchum, okay? And they're all my Pokemon.
You know what? I don't know. I think that's a funny reference. I don't think you're Ash Ketchum. You have a giant toad. You haven't done anything else. You haven't even caught a Farfetch'd or whatever
I
the fuck.
captured his heart. Oh, just you wait, Noah. I have a plan to like harvest like 1,000 rats, and then when we get into battle, I'm just gonna blow this like flute, and they're all gonna come out and just eat whatever's in the vat. Jesus.
Yeah. Pied Piper it, eh? Okay. I'll be on the lookout. Do I see any rats? Suspiciously, you see no rats.
Anywhere.
Not even one.
I'm in the sewers. They nest here. I was born in these sewers.
That's not true. That's not canon at all, Ness.
There were 4 turtles down there and an alpha rat.
Oh gosh, I feel like we need to move on. I don't even know if we can do Fievel anymore. Your character fucking comes through. I see the wildness in your eyes when you talk about about him?
I enjoy it. I enjoy the chaos.
Kind of scares me.
That's why I enjoyed it. It gives an added like sense of like in the last episode when I hit on Arda and he's just like I pull out my trident and I was like holy fuck. I was like you might actually kill me. If Jack Bauer gets in here, I'm fucking dead.
Didn't the fans say they wanted to see me with Arda instead of?
Yeah, someone actually tweeted at us said that they said that Tyson McKay was their favorite character, but they wanted to see Rogar get Arda.
Hey.
Oh gosh.
That was a wild plot twist.
It kind of makes sense though, like lizard folk, dragonborn.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's probably had that before. She hasn't had a mouth.
Yeah, she's just looking for something different, according to Fievel.
She doesn't know what she
usually
wants.
goes for dicks, but now she's going for a nice guy.
who is a dick on the inside.
Yeah.
She doesn't know this.
Oh gosh.
Nobody
That's
tell her.
funny. I love how you made up this random tweet, Josh, because no one would ever say Tyson's their
Holy shit. Let's get to Tyson right now.
It's the fireman nickname. I amped him up last episode.
That's true.
Yeah, people are just like, fuck, fireman, fireman. I heard the chants.
fireman.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah, the support of Fievel really got me into the hearts of the fans, I think.
I freed
I just
him
don't know if
from
you were
that cage.
relatable until then. You know, you were in the swamps. You were with the hobgoblins, the bullywugs, gotcha. Whereas I think they saw more of
I think
Fievel's personality early on.
Yeah, I guess that's true. I think at the end, nearing the end of episode 4, when I started actually doing something useful, like when I tore through all the bullywugs.
When I freed him of his cage.
Yes, I guess that's true.
Not everything's about you, so let's fucking...
Fine. When Jack Bauer and I freed him from the cage.
Okay, not everything's about you and Jack Bauer, believe it or not.
Jesus Christ.
We're talking about the Bright Lord. Fuck.
Thanks.
We're talking about the Planeswalker right now.
Fireman.
I think after that episode, it was like, okay, Planeswalker's kind of cool and he's useful. Before that, I was just a burden on everyone, it seemed like.
He was a guy scavenging for fucking stale bread.
Yeah, exactly.
So wait, now that we know that the people have spoken. They want to see the Bright Lord with Arda. Are you going to make a move, Bright Lord, or are you going to...
Bet your ass I am.
Oh boy. We'll see how that works out.
I like the dynamic of the group. It's not comfortable. Like, I'm not comfortable in the group. Like, as a character.
You like that?
Because I don't really know Fievel, and he's really weird towards me, specifically.
I don't even know his name yet.
Yeah, we don't know his name. And he just won't tell us.
I like to keep it that way.
But he has told literally everyone else.
Yeah.
And
he's like best friends with these lizard folk.
Yeah, exactly. And then Rogar kind of ditched me going into the Bullywug camp. He's just like, I'm gonna pay to get out of here. He did help get me food, but I never found out that it was him that gave me that helped get me the food. So I just think he kind of ditched me. But he's the closest I have to family right now. So it's an awkward situation for my character anyway.
I'll keep that in mind. Maybe Fievel will turn things around.
How about we just put
I'll give you my heart.
I don't want it.
You're gonna fucking take it whether you like it or not.
It is an interesting point, though. I mean, like, usually when we've had campaigns, in other campaigns that I've run as well, the players are all very much, this is our team, and everything that the DM creates, that's the other team, right? Whereas you guys are very much like, we're on our own teams, we just happen to be playing in the same league right now.
We have the same...
We're all gonna... Yeah.
Same goals, because I'm trying to find the prisoners. The Bright Lord, he's kind of like, I'm trying to help everyone, right? And he also, I think you've kind of taken an interest in these Knights of the New Moon.
Yeah, I kind of want to join them. They're pretty cool.
So he has his own personal interest in this, and then obviously Fievel is trying to impress Arda and save his lizard folk friends.
And kill the humans that massacred my tribe.
Yeah,
people forget.
Let it go.
People forget.
Let it go.
I'll find them.
Well, it wasn't these humans, so what are you going to do when you find these humans?
Oh, man, I'm going to rip this fucking forest apart to find them. I know you're under this rock, and I'll just get Jack Bauer to move it.
Oh my gosh.
Just an hour and a half of him moving rocks and nothing being underneath.
Most folk only live to, like, what, 40, right?
Yeah.
I think I'm I don't even know how old I am. Probably too old.
So I can't wait to see like a 37-year-old mouse folk just fucking crazy, just rotted brain, just in the middle of the mangroves. I'll find the fucking humans. It's just like,
I was talking to Josh. I was like, man, I gotta start doing like executions in battle. So I think I'm gonna start like strangling people with my tail and stuff like that. Just like, I'm gonna go wild.
Do you think your tail is prehensile? Do you think you can do that?
I mean, if I beat them down to like 1 HP and then I could just like get Jack Bauer to stand on half their body and then I could just strangle them.
I don't think it's the strangling that kills them, then. I think it's Jack Bauer sitting on their body. He's huge.
The listeners don't know that.
Yeah.
I feel like their head would fucking pop off.
Fievel doesn't know this.
True.
Yeah, I'm going to go with executive decision. You can't choke people with your tail.
Okay.
It's not strong enough. You need 11 pounds of force on average to crush a human windpipe. You can't do that with your tail.
Are you 11 pounds? I'm probably like 40. Right?
Like,
Yeah.
He's not there's no way.
I'm definitely more.
He's a fucking mouse.
He's a mouse folk.
I'm a big mouse.
He's like 3 feet.
Yo, I was gonna eat that bullywug. Like, you refused me of gains. Remember? This is your fault.
Is it my fault
I'm
that
a
you're small?
malnourished fucking mouse
I think
because
I
of
cut
you.
that out. Did I?
I'm not the one making sure. I'm not the one stopping you from eating. You can eat as much as you want. Oh my gosh, we're getting off topic. This is ridiculous.
But yeah, so
Let's talk about the storyline.
Oh, yeah.
How do we feel about the storyline?
I like where it's gone now.
Yeah.
The Bullywood camp, I'm glad we escaped, for sure. It was getting, I don't want to say tedious, because that's not the right word. It was just getting,
A little moist.
like,
some would say.
I was tired of being, I was tired of not having freedom, I guess. That was my whole thing.
I think it was, from a creation standpoint, you talk about like making the game. I thought it was, and this is what was really cool, was building a world that was centered around you guys. And, Josh came up with this really cool planeswalker, Tyson McKay. He's a freed slave, but I was like, it's not cool enough if he's just a freed slave.
You're
if
like-
he always alludes to
you're
the
like,
slavery.
no,
I want him
no.
to like feel it.
You're like, nah, take away that freed part and we've got something going here.
No. I don't know. Like, D&D has a tendency, and DMs have a tendency to leave the background of the past, right? Like, I'm a sailor, but then, you never see them in a sailing context. It's just a dude who's now like a soldier, whatever the case may be. Now like a fighter.
Isn't my sub a sailor? Man, I can't wait to sail the seas with Jack Bauer. It's gonna be fucking great.
He's gonna like sink the
He's
ship.
gonna sink every fucking boat that he's on. But yeah, so I didn't want to leave the background in the past. I thought, I've never had a player who's been a slave before. I thought it would be really cool if, for at least like the first session, because that was my whole intention, man. I never meant to keep you in chains for 4 sessions. I totally meant for you to free yourself after the first session. When you did not, I sent and I gave Ragnak the opportunity to rush up the mountain and help you. I totally thought he'd fucking knock it out of the park. He didn't knock it out of the park. Then when the whole bullywug exchange happened, I was like, here's another chance. They can escape. Like, there's confusion. Like, this is what I would do. Bam, didn't escape again. I was like, fuck. So you have to understand, like, from my perspective, all I wanted was for you to be in chains for like 45 minutes.
But to be fair, I think it added to the story a lot.
Yeah.
Like, it definitely created a realistic outcome, right?
Well, yeah, I think that's what's really cool about it is it wasn't just so easy to overthrow 5 or 6 hobgoblins, and then it wasn't super easy to overthrow a camp of bullywugs, right? Like, it took
No, that was easy.
pretty unique circuit. Well, it
was
wasn't
surprisingly
easy when you were in chains. It was easy when you were let free.
Yeah. I wasn't mad at the whole Slade thing. I didn't care. It was a fun role to play for a bit.
Yeah.
And I think it was cool because, like you said, usually DMs just leave the past in the past, but this is kind of different. We were kind of still in the past, like, it's still in our background, kind of. We were coming just out of it in the prologues. So it was kind of a cool way to introduce us into the main story.
Well, I think that was always what was a cool part of the Dicey D20 when we started out, was that there was going to be these prologues, right? There was going to be the introduction of each player, right, coming into the game, and then subtly, or just by happenstance or coincidence, whatever the case may be, these players kind of finding each other, coming together in weird ways, right? I think that was what kind of drew, at least, like, I mean, and I go back and listen to them, right? Like, it draws people in. It's like, I wonder how these 3 people are gonna
Get
come
along.
into a storyline together, right? Or get along. And it hasn't been answered yet. No one's getting along. So
I don't know. I think Rogar and I are fine.
Yeah. It's just the mouse.
I made Fireman rode on Jack Bauer. I think, like, he forgets that. That's a big step for me.
Yeah, that was true. You were very reluctant, but
Don't act like you've sacrificed.
I'm not saying we're enemies. I'm just saying we're not friends yet by any means, which is, it's a realistic build, and I think we're playing our characters pretty well, especially Fievel.
Free me from a cage, and then we'll talk.
All right.
So we have to put you in a cage first.
He didn't say anything about you not putting him in the cage.
That's what we have to get a cage and put him in it.
Jack Bauer will not be happy.
Yeah, there's no cage big enough for him.
Who's gonna mount and dismount me?
I think you overestimate how much he likes you.
You know what? I think he likes me.
I think he likes you, but I don't think
he would free me from a cage.
Yeah, that's probably true.
Yeah, I think with direction he would. I think if you were unconscious, he'd just sit with his fat ass outside the cage and just watch you. And then you'd wake up and he'd just be sitting there. You're like, what are you doing, Jack Bauer? And he just like slowly blinks his eyes.
You want these good berries? You're going to fucking break this cage.
Anything else that you guys have found cool about the storyline, or things that you would change? Like, because I mean, Ness, you're a DM in your own right.
Yep.
When you know that when you play a storyline and you're a DM, you kind of analyze the shit out of stuff, right?
Definitely.
Like how's it been for you?
Good. Honestly, I didn't expect to find Jack Bauer so quick. So that was nice, because I was like, fuck, I'm some little shrimp of a freaking mouse and I gotta navigate through the swamp. Man, I could have drowned in one of those like little things. So
because I remember in like episode 2 or whenever you got it right away. Mm-hmm. And both Sab and I were like, holy fuck, that's OP. But then we took a step back and we were like, okay, yeah, but I mean, our characters eventually become OP. And I mean, Fievel without Jack Bauer is not useless, but he's not as strong.
I have to roll 20s with a trident attack to be effective.
Yeah, well, I think that was another thing. I mean, people listened to the episode with Jack Bauer and they said, holy shit, like this guy's not even a level 2. And he's just getting this toad right off the bat. It's like, man, he's a beast master. You know what I mean? Like, it's in the name. He has literally no skills aside from that. Like, he can stab with the trident, but he's not heavily armored. He has no spells. He's not good really at anything except for being a beast master, right? Like, that's his class. And if I was gonna hold out for like 6 episodes, and then he finally gets one, I mean, he'd probably die before that.
Probably, yeah. Yeah, he would have definitely lost against the Shambling Mound.
Yep. Yeah.
No, I doubt you would have.
Oh, yeah, there's no way.
I doubt you would have put him against that, I guess, if he didn't have Jack Bauer. But.
No, for sure not. I mean, the Shambling Mound was built in there to knowing full well that Jack Bauer would be a part of that fight. Because there'd be it would have been something else, or that encounter wouldn't have happened at all had Jack Bauer not been there.
Also, other like DM stuff. I've been reading the DM Guide 5th edition one, the latest one anyway. And just seeing, like, you brought in the Knights of the New Moon, like, sigils, banners, like, that's a big thing. Because, like, in a lot of just, like, stuff I've listened to, like, people aren't that descriptive, or they forget about just different, I want to say, like, regions where people have banners in certain regions. Like, everything, I guess, in the past was always just, like, wild. You'd get to a city, but, yeah, the city has a bunch of knights, but it was never like, oh, like, the Knights of the New Moon. I'm like, that's fucking sick. And then I could just picture, like, an emblem on their shields and on their armor. It's really cool that way. And then I'm sure in the sense that where we're going, we're in swampland now, but like I'm excited to reach like a different biome. Yeah. I'm sure Jack Bauer isn't, because that's literally where he's from, but like...
Can you see his fucking toady ass in like a grassland or some shit? He would fucking cook in a desert. Oh my god. Yeah, but I mean, good points on the biome for sure. We'll go reverse chronological. I think that the swampland has been an interesting biome for the beginning of the season. It's not one that you usually start in. Most entry level players will start in forests if they're a rural campaign, or they'll start in small towns or cities if they're an urban campaign. Very, very rarely do campaigns, I think, start, or at least homebrews that I've played or that I've created, start out in a really odd biome, right? Like something that kind of out of the way like that. Yeah. So that's what was also kind of unique about the Dicey D20, was it started out like a complete homebrew. Like nothing was how it would normally be done.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, the Knights of the New Moon, you're talking about sigils and factions and stuff. I find that to be one of the most important parts about D&D. I mean, you got to give context to your world. And Norian's in a place right now where there's not a lot of structure, there's not a lot of order, and the Knights of the New Moon are essentially just, I mean, it's guys who survived the Second Age with the hobgoblin armies, the One Legion, which rained down from the north. These are like the lowly soldiers and, you know, flag bearers and stuff that survived that war, that then passed on military teaching through the generations. Knights of the New Moon are what's left, right?
Yeah, for sure.
And they're very few, but they're very, very cool sect of the population, for sure.
That's another thing I want to get into about the story that I think I like, and I think our listeners like, is the different voices you do.
Yeah.
I don't oftentimes credit myself for voices, but I mean,
yeah. Are they the best voices I've ever heard? Probably not.
Okay,
but
go back to sucking my dick, please. I don't like this tooth shit.
But they're definitely, like, they're good, and it really gets you into the story, and it allows, especially with a podcast, because then you could tell the difference between who's who and that stuff, right?
Definitely.
It really lends itself to the story, and especially the character, like the NPC's background, you really get into them and who they are. I've played with people that do not get into the character, and it's just the same monotone character throughout the whole story, and it's like,
I attack him.
I was like, wait, who's talking right now? I don't understand what NPC is this.
Well, yeah, no, thanks. I mean, I think that you got to give some context. Again, it's all about context, right? I mean, how are your players going to know that someone's untrustworthy if you don't make their voice kind of slimy, you know?
Yeah.
If you don't make them kind of like, fuck, who's that guy from Lord of the Rings?
Smeagol.
Wormtongue.
Wormtongue.
Grievil, yeah.
Wormtongue.
How are they going to know unless you kind of make a character like that, right? And it won't get conveyed if you're just like, I don't know what you're talking about. It's like, I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Like, you just gotta fucking make it, like, you just gotta make it drip off the tongue, you know? I don't know.
Well, especially since it's an imaginary podcast, right? Like, so it's not, there's no visuals that go along with this, other than the fan art that we get, which, shout out to the fan art that we've gotten, pretty cool.
Oh, fuck yeah. I got some comments on that today. It's literally some people that work with friends of friends at a gym came up to me when we were at this mutual gathering. They said, quote unquote, whoever drew that stuff is sick as tits. And I was like, well,
It's different people.
Well, fucking thank you. I did. I'm just kidding. I was like, no, they're dope.
Yeah.
No, but they fucking thought it was so cool.
But, I mean, besides those visuals, which are fan-made, there's nothing visual to go along with it, so you need those voices and stuff like that. And, I mean, we don't really do voices for our characters. Fievel sometimes does, like, his crazy voice, which is funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, I gotta work on, like, a raspy voice for him.
Do you think he would have a raspy voice?
Yeah.
I think it'd be a squeaky voice, which would be funny for you to do because you have such a deep voice.
I'll practice. Listens, beware.
What is what's that from? And so we go to war. No, that's Pirates of the Caribbean.
Oh, there we go.
No, but I think, now that I know that, I'll do some more voices. My favorite ever is an old Jewish couple arguing over what they've heard.
Oh boy.
You're looking for your lost dog? No, he said he got lost in a bog. It's fucking... Yeah, get ready to meet them in the next
I
episode.
regret encouraging any of this. I don't know. What do you like about the story so far, Seb? What do you want to get into, maybe with your character specifically?
I don't know. I like where it's been going so far, and there's a big cliffhanger right now with like everyone disappearing. And I got like the opportunity to do like something different other than just being trapped in a cage for 4 episodes. I actually got to like talk with the bullywugs and learn a bit about them, and
you got to be in a tournament too.
Yeah, I got to be in a spear throwing tournament, which is cool.
You got mad at us for denying you missions.
Yeah. I was kind of disappointed that they killed everyone just to see you.
I was disappointed that I freed myself.
Fuck you, Josh.
I was kind of disappointed that Fireman was so selfish and just killed all the bullies. Like, he couldn't just take one for the team and be imprisoned a day longer.
I just wanted to see what like missions they had to offer, and you know, like where it would lead to, because I wasn't sure about that.
Well, I think that's kind of speaks to some part of how cool D&D is. I mean, just alternative outcomes. I think we were discussing this before. How, you know, if you flick, like, you know, a pebble in a pond, there's all these ripples, right? If you kill all the bullywugs, you know, you don't have access to what the bullywugs would have offered you previously, right? Or what quest lines you could have done.
We threw a boulder into the stream and we're going to that.
Just fucking obliterated them. I still can't believe you let Vox away with all his money. God damn.
Yeah.
I kind of wanted to kill him, yeah.
It's my,
you could have been kings.
My character.
You could have been kings.
See, I don't think your character would have killed them, Seb.
Yeah, just because he was leading everyone and...
Maybe. Your character might have. My character, it was a toss-up too. Your character probably wouldn't have. He got what he wanted.
I mean, yeah, he imprisoned the people I was there for. Like, fuck, would I have loved to strangle Vox? Yeah. In a heartbeat. Shit. And do I hate seeing all that money go? Yeah. But, like, that's my background. Like, currency doesn't mean shit to Fievel, so I couldn't just be like, yeah, I want all that fucking gold. I want to swim in that. Like,
I want to Scrooge fucking McDucket.
I want me and Arda to buy a castle. Like, no, it's not gonna happen.
Yeah, could you imagine if you showed up to the village with, like, all this money and everyone's just dead or gone? And she would have been like, where were you? And you're like, well, I got this gold for us.
Yeah. What are you crying about? I have
Dude, she's half conscious. She wouldn't even seen the gold.
She barely saw you.
I would have wafted a coin in front of her face. For Rich, get up.
But yeah, I mean, alternative outcomes are pretty cool. I mean, at any point you guys can, and this is what the testament of a really good campaign and a DM who kind of has the maturity to be like, you know, your players can make different decisions. They're not always going to choose the path that, you know, you've put in the most time into creating for them. Sometimes they'll just say, fuck that nice path you've built for me. Mm-hmm. I'm going to go off into the bush over here. And and what fucking happens, and you just have to deal with it, right?
Yeah. I know. They do a perception check. There's ducks in a pond, and then there goes your fucking quest line. You're like, shit. Now they want to feed the ducks bread? Like, Jesus Christ.
That was pretty good.
This is a time-sensitive game.
Do I have bread? Yes, you have bread. Oh, good. Can I rip it up? Sure. You're not going to make me roll? No. I'm not roll to rip up the bread. Like, just fucking
like he knows what we're going to say. Like,
I'm looking for an 18 here. This bread is quite stale.
I mean, and I guess a cool place to go from here is, where do you guys think the storyline's going? Our listeners, of course, we'd love to hear what you guys think is going to happen. It's cool to hear it from the players because they've been going through it.
Well, Fievel, your backstory is that the city next to your village or whatever is the ones that were infringing on your territory, or you're not sure?
So I believe, yeah. I'm not, Fievel isn't actually 100%.
And if I'm not mistaken, these knights are from that place, right?
I don't think so.
No? I wasn't 100% sure.
No, I mean, so Fievel's from a town of Mousefolk. Don't get me wrong, they're in the same region as Ryberry, but Ryberry is not the humans that have been fucking with the Mousefolk. Okay. Ryberry is a little bit too civilized for that kind of shit.
Okay. Well, I think this quest line could definitely lead somewhere towards your backstory, and then I think it could definitely fill out Sab's backstory.
I want to see Joff Marcus so bad.
I could definitely see Rogar joining these guys. I don't know if you feel that way. You've said you felt that way. So.
Yeah, I definitely want to join them. They seem pretty badass.
Yeah, and they seem like your kind of guys, like doing good.
Yeah.
The world.
Let's hope me and Tyson don't kill them.
That's the only thing. I don't know where Tyson's story goes.
Jesus. Everything Sab wants, I'm just going to take away from him.
That's
why? Because he's taking Arda from you?
Yes.
Oh, true.
And your toad.
Oh, and my toad.
Oh, Jack Bauer.
I'm not sure how this whole non-Beastmaster thing's going to go, but you could try.
Yeah. You could multi-class.
Yeah.
Eventually.
I'm seeing Rogar, Ragnak, and Arda in a nice little cottage with a white picket fence. Got a huge doghouse for Jack Bauer.
I'll find another.
But yeah, the only thing is, I'm not sure where Tyson McKay's story goes with this. He's kind of a lost puppy, if you will. Not really sure what his purpose is.
I think he's trying to find his people.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, yeah.
What happens then? I mean, you don't know. Maybe he's going to try and, get them into a town or a city or get them to safety, right?
Yeah.
He's not just going to, once he finds them, if all goes well, it's not just going to be like, all right, see you later. Have fun on the road. You don't have any food or items or shit. How many of you have died? 17.
That's most of the village.
No, I feel like you're gonna good guy Greg it, right? You're probably going to help them out.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I'm just talking about afterwards because, I mean, like, Fievel has has his quest right now. He's going to help Arda, and then he's still got to find his parents' murders. I guess mine could be finding the hobgoblins that attacked my village.
Yeah.
That could be Tyson's.
Or you track down the old man, find out how he shook out of those chains, and then you'll never be a slave again.
He's another fan favorite, man. People, my friends who listen to the podcast come up and they're like, dude, just shake the chains.
Shake it.
And I'm like, oh man, I had no idea that one line would be so funny.
That's a good one.
Yeah, it is.
It's especially good because Sab was so excited that he had got the keys. And he's just like, oh man, I got the keys. And then I just shook them. And Sab's like, God damn it.
You fucker.
It's funny how, like, you know, you, as a DM, you write all this stuff and you're like, oh, that's going to be so cool. Oh, that's going to be so funny. And then it's the stuff that you couldn't even come up with, that you just on the spot, on the fly, you were just like, oh, that could be quaint. You say it and then it's like, bam, that's the hit, right?
Yeah, there's been a lot of that. I don't know. Do you guys have any?
Yeah, most of what I actually write beforehand is shit. A lot of this is just made up on the spot, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh yeah, for sure.
As most good DMing is. That's you got to learn to improvise, and that's honestly it.
Yeah, we'll save the DM talk for one of the, if the people want to hear a pod specifically, you know, designated towards DMing, we'll save it for that. But yes, DMs do have to improvise.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Or do they? Find out in the pod.
Just have 5,000 pages of just scripted of every outcome that could possibly happen.
You say that now, but that's the only way to be a successful DM.
I open this door. Hang on, let me flip to page 4,322.
Wait, just go.
Shit, I didn't account for this.
You can't do it. Sorry.
Restart.
Give me an hour.
Can't even imagine.
Yeah, but I mean, I think this has been good. Do we have any other talking points that we?
I guess for alternative outcomes, what if we just slaughtered Vox? Like, what if we just slaughtered him and the rest of his village? And then those Knights of the New Moon showed up, and he's like, holy fuck, you just slaughtered Fox and his whole tribe.
Yeah, I mean, the Knights of the New Moon, you gotta kind of think of them as, they're not an anti-hero. They're like a Jack Sparrow.
I was going to say,
they're a rogue hero.
They didn't seem like they cared about Vox's well-being that much.
Yeah, they're like Han Solo, right? I mean, like everyone like them because they're not bad guys, but they do bad things, right? Like the Knights of the New Moon would have easily and had no problem with killing Vox. You know, the only reason why he didn't, you know, he told you that he talked to like a hobgoblin emissary. He didn't say whether he let him live.
It's true.
Yeah. Like these guys deal with some of the most unsavory races.
Yeah. Well, they'll do
in D&D. They definitely kill a lot of fucking humanoids.
Yeah. Well, they seem like the kind of guys who'll do anything for their people, which is right now finding where their people went. So, or some of their people, not all of them, but like some, like where the disappearances are. I don't think they would have cared if they stumbled upon us slaughtering Vox.
Man, that would have been great. They came, we just happy circle Vox, like all of us just stand in a circle, start pushing them, kicking the shit out of them. And
yeah, no, they didn't like Vox. They wanted him dead. They just didn't justifiably have a reason. I mean, if you actually asked them about it, they would say that they obviously knew he was operating there. They went there before, there were no prisoners, so you can't really, they're not going to just attack unprovoked. But
they're stronger than I.
Yeah, no. You know, you're a piece of shit when it comes to attacking unprovoked. What do? I choke him to death. 20. Oh my god.
Man, my position would have been gone, guaranteed. I think that
they all would have swarmed in on you.
That was the best plan of action.
Oh yeah. No, it was just crazy how you rolled a 20 and just absolutely destroyed him like that. It was like the best case scenario.
Yeah, the description was great. Every time I listened to it, you crush his windpipes, and I'm just like, yes, feel the power.
What you don't know is Fievel jerks off to these episodes. Yes, just rewinds the same parts over and over again, just gets fucking rock hard.
That's the good stuff.
And that's a wrap.
But yeah, we could, that's about it. I kind of want to thank our fans people who've listened, subscribed.
Mm-hmm.
All the other crazy podcasts, that D&D podcasts and like-minded podcasts that have kind of helped us out. They tweet at us sometimes, and
they've shouted us out. They said, you guys are doing a great job.
Oh, yeah.
And to be honest, we fucking are. So, thank you.
But yeah, no, it's a great community. I like being part of it.
Yeah, honestly, I have to say, the fact that other podcasts that have more subscribers, more downloads, been doing it for longer, whatever the case may be, even new guys on the block who are like coming up at the same time as we are, who have just reached out and said, hey, we really like what you guys are doing, keep it up.
Yeah.
That's kind of fucking sweet.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I also want to say thank you to the listeners, not just Josh. I want to say it too. So I said it. So thank you.
Sab doesn't want to say that.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Not yet. Once we reach 1,000 downloads, we'll say thank you.
He'll think about it.
Yeah, I'll think about it.
But yeah.
Dude, almost 900 downloads. That's fucking ridiculous.
Yeah. No, I mean, if you guys like our pod, obviously subscribe. Give us a rating on iTunes or whatever if you can.
Click on that heart.
If you have a D&D group, maybe share it with them. They might enjoy our terrible sense of humor.
Honestly, if you guys have questions, comments, concerns, whatever the case may be, tweet at us, get in touch with us. Also, if you want to give us suggestions, dude, we're not above that kind of shit.
Oh, yeah.
If you want to shoot us out like, hey, I really want to see, Fievel and Jack Bauer take on a blank, whatever.
A dragon.
Yeah. Kraken. Bring it.
I want to see it.
I'll rip that thing out from the inside.
You heard it here first, folks. He'll fight whatever the fuck you want.
But yeah, no,
but it was really cool how someone was like, "Hey, I want the Bright Lord to end up with Arda." That's sick.
Yeah, no.
Because that's funny as fuck.
Unrealistic, but
oh my,
more realistic than the mouse and the lizard, my friend.
Yeah.
Things are heating up. Yeah. I don't know.
He's been courting her.
I'm sensing some pheromones in the air.
Yeah, she's unconscious, so whatever you're sensing is fucking one way and also illegal. So
I'm holding her hand.
This has been our behind the dice, behind the 20. Whatever we decide on calling it.
Inside the D20.
Inside Sab.
No,
Sab's D20.
Sab's D20s.
And yes, listeners, they are natural.
I know Noah usually.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
Noah usually does the outros, but I'm.
No, I'll do the outro.
I'm taking over here.
Oh.
No, I'll do it. No, I'll do it.
Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, thanks so much for listening. It's been a pleasure. This is Noah, DM, signing out.
Fireman signing out.
Mouseman signing out.
I forget my nickname, but
didn't we call him?
That's a wrap.
What's the
Light,
nickname you guys
he's Light
gave me?
Bright. Just
Oh,
like
Light
those.
Bright.
Yeah,
That's a
I like
Light
Light Bright. Those toys.
Okay, Light Bright,
Yeah.
peacing out.